All right, let's start off with your name and tell me how you heard about Ibogaine.
My name is Greg. I heard about Ibogaine through a friend who is amazing, wonderful woman, and in her search for something to change her life. And so I helped her with that and tried to help her find a lot of other, sources and other Ibogaine clinics and stuff like that, so we could help figure out which one is best for her. And so, I was coming along the journey with her, and I had some issues that I needed to deal with also. So I decided that I should do it as well. And here I am, a new person, happier than ever. It's been days of just non-stop joy. It's incredible. Like, even when I feel a little I don't know, not quite awake because I'm getting a little tired or something like that, I'm still like smiling, happy, joking. It's incredible. It's the most amazing experience of my life. I've just been kind of one with myself. I feel true. I feel, okay, here's the best thing. When I woke up today, I usually wake up and I usually feel pretty groggy for a couple hours unless I drink some energy drinks or something like that right away. And usually it helps me get out of bed. Today, I woke up and I was up and I was out of bed and I was like, all right, I'm going to go do something. Like, everything was so sharp and so clear. Like, I literally thought that my eyes were fixed because, like, I was like, oh, I can see just fine without my glasses. Like, this is crazy. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know if maybe they are fixing. I don't know. I don't know that that's ever been something that's happened with Ibogaine, but apparently so far I'm a pretty rare case. So
keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the dream state.
The dream state was crazy. It was so intense and so amazing. Oh my God, I've never experienced anything like it before in my life. Like, it was wild. It really it took me every place I needed to be. And so, okay, here's how the dream state started out. I started feeling things a little bit, and then it's like I saw Ken and Barbie holding hands, and Ken looks at Barbie and goes, "Are you ready? Like, this is gonna be a really intense ride." And she's like, "Let's do it. Let's get this party started." And she's like, "Let's go." And he's like, "All right, hold on tight." And then they launched like a rocket ship. Oh my God, it was crazy. They went whoosh, like, I mean, it was like watching a rocket launch, and their blonde hair was like their jet stream with little sparkles in it, and that went on for like 2 minutes, and I was just like wide-eyed and just laughing out loud because it was so freaking cool, because I was like keeping altitude with them as we were lifting off. I was like, like into the stratosphere. And I was just, oh my God, if you could have seen my face. I couldn't see it, but I just could only imagine. I was probably like, oh, it was incredible. And then I basically, after that, I went inward. And I kind of went into my head, and it was like filled with cobwebs and garbage and like old files. Everything was disorganized, and it was just filled with junk. And so it's like it was like this giant, massive warehouse, just like, I mean, bigger than any warehouse you could ever imagine. It was just like endless, and it was just filled with garbage, and then like these machines came in and cleaned everything out, like emptied the warehouse, and then they reorganized everything that was worthwhile and stored it and put it where it needed to go. And then once that was done, I was in this big, huge warehouse, and it was like I had this awareness that, like, oh my God, I just got rid of all this garbage, and now I have room to be more efficient, more effective, and have more growth, stronger growth, more potential. Like everything is just like ahead of me. And then it went from there to the next stage, which was seeing little stories through my life in no particular order, and some of them were things that actually that kind of like happened to me, or like clues from my life that led me to different places. And then like all of a sudden I'd be like, what the hell, what's going on? And the next thing you know, like I get to the end, it's like sometimes I was watching one of those, remember those viewers where you push on the button and it goes around? Like, it was like watching that on some of them. And some of them were like anime cartoons, and like it was just like a collage of a whole bunch of different stuff. And then and I'd like have this realization. We'd get to the end and I was like, what? What's that? And I'm like, oh my God, really? No freaking way. Like, that's amazing. It's so funny. I knew that the whole time, but I just didn't know. And it was just like, I know now. It's so simple, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone. Like, I had a list of questions that I was planning on using. Like, I kept my phone next to the bed so I can refer to like questions and make notes from like realizations so I didn't forget them, and which I did, and I continued to have realizations throughout the following day and today, and I probably have about 30 realizations that I've written down so far, and experiences just in the past day and a half that have revolutionized my life, changed it. I am completely a new person. I am amazing. It's like the whole world is mine now, and there's nothing to worry about. It's gonna be okay, and it's brilliant. And I tell you what, you know, definitely do the Ibogaine. If it's something that you're thinking about doing, you're already decided that you need to do it. You just haven't realized it yet. That essentially is the case.
Nice.
And it will change your life, and you'll never look back. It's just like, wow, like this is it. This is the moment. This is what I've been waiting for my entire life. Like, this is wonderful. Like, my trip was amazing. It was the most beautiful experience in the world. You know, it was just like I saw my grandmother, my dead grandmother. She came to me. Kind of in the middle of it, towards the end, and she came up to me, and in fact, this may have been the very last part of the dream state. Is she came to me after I had all those realizations, and yeah, that is when it was. She was in the closet.
That's special.
Everybody thinks that's funny. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and she was there, and she was just how I remembered her, and she was. You know, and she's talking to me. She's like, you know, you're doing an amazing thing. You're doing something really wonderful here. Like, you need to follow this, like, to the end, and don't back down. Don't let anybody stop you, because I want to create a nonprofit to help people get treatment, and because there's not really a lot out there I mean, there's a lot of facilities, but there's no one. It's hard to find someone to sponsor someone for treatment because it's very expensive. So. I'm trying to take that challenge upon myself and me and my fiance, because we want to get this to everyone, everywhere, non-stop, like, because it'll change the world, man. It's so incredible. Wow, like, it's just mind-blowing. It really is. I can't even explain it to you. You cannot understand. There's no way anyone could ever understand this unless they've done it. It's just wow. Like, the days leading up to this were really, really, really challenging. They were some of the most challenging days in my life, if not the most challenging days and months in my life. And it felt like every day I was just hanging on with my fingernails to get through to this. Not necessarily just for me, but for the person, for another person who desperately needed it as well. And so it's, you know, it's happening. It's happened, actually. It's happened, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I was the mayor of Loveville, Lovetown. I ended up on this train, and I ended up in this town, and It was Loveville, and basically I was dressed like Mario from Mario Brothers, except I had this giant heart on my chest, and it was like out like this, and it was kind of like beating and show, and just not like in a creepy way. It was just really nice and beautiful. And maybe it wasn't beating, but it was more like shining love, like everywhere. And then it was like I had sunshine, happiness shooting out. It was like happiness, joy, sunshine shooting out of my hands, making everything bright and wonderful, and going around hugging people and just like, yeah, like Loveville is where it's at, man. This is the shit. Like, this is the shit. And I was like, oh man. And after that, I went on to like this next place, and I got this thought about something that was really irritating me. And I had this samurai mask, like ancient samurai warrior mask, show up in my face with like horns and like a red goatee, and the mask was black with the red, and it said anger across it, like under it or something. It was like a big warning sign. It was like, it got in my face, and it was like anger, and I was like, ah, and I was like, no, I don't want that. I was like, that's no good. And it was like, at first I thought that I thought I was going to really go into this bad place, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And then I remembered Loveville, and I'm like, no, I want to go back to Loveville. I want to be in Loveville. That's where I want to be. And then I went on like a journey trying to find my way back to Loveville, like trying to get to Oz, like in the Wizard of Oz. And on that journey, it took me through all these different places and all these different lessons, and it got me back to Loveville. And like a lot of them about judgment and stuff like that, things I didn't even realize that don't matter. They have no meaning. There's no purpose in them, and it's just simple wasted time judgments that don't really affect anything in a positive way. In fact, if people are happy with what they're doing, then good, let them. That's awesome. If they are really truly happy and not lying to themselves, then hell yeah, high five that person, give them a hug and a kiss, and ask them about it, because you know what, it might be something that you like, but even if it's not, it's something you can appreciate because you can see their joy and not judge them for it because you're like, oh, they must be phonies. No, but what if they're not and you don't know it? That's the thing. Which I realized that. I was like, man, I saw like a net